My name is Brooke Carter. 3 days after a truck nearly killed me, I ended a 9-year arrangement that had quietly drained almost $500,000 from my life. My family thought they had won. My mother believed she could guilt me into turning the money back on. My sister was on a luxury cruise spending cash she never earned. Then an old man walked into a family dinner carrying a worn folder and destroyed a lie that had survived for decades. At the time, I was 34 years old and the mother of a 6-week-old baby girl named Emma. Life had finally settled into something beautiful. My husband, Ethan, and I had worked hard for years to build a stable life. We avoided debt, saved aggressively, and planned carefully. We were not flashy people. Most relatives assumed we simply got by. What they did not know was that for nearly a decade, I had been financially supporting my parents every month. Then everything changed in a single night. I was driving home after a late shift when a pickup truck ran a red light and slammed into my car. I woke up in a hospital with broken ribs, a collapsed lung, and my arm in a cast. The first thing I asked about was my daughter. The second thing I learned was that my husband was 6 hours away on a business trip. Someone needed to care for our newborn. My mother lived 20 minutes from the hospital. She refused. When Ethan called her and explained the situation, she said she could not come because she was watching my sister Chloe's cat while Chloe enjoyed a Caribbean vacation. A cat was apparently more important than her injured daughter and newborn granddaughter. The part that hurt most was not her refusal. It was the sentence she used to justify it. "Your sister never has these emergencies." I remember staring at the hospital ceiling after hearing those words. Strangely, I did not cry. Something inside me became incredibly calm. My daughter still needed care, so I solved the problem. Within minutes I hired an overnight newborn nurse through an agency we had researched before Emma was born. An hour later, I received a photo of my daughter sleeping peacefully. Problem solved. Then I turned my attention to a problem I should have addressed years earlier. I opened my banking app. For 9 years, I had maintained for recurring transfers. Monthly payments from my parents, their mortgage, my father's medical care, and extra support for my sister. I had never added up the total because part of me did not want to know. That night I finally looked. For $186,000. Nearly $500,000 had left my account over 9 years. I stared at the number for a long time. Then I canceled every transfer. For taps, 9 years ended in less than 30 seconds. I expected guilt, I expected sadness. Instead, I felt relief. The next morning, curiosity pushed me further. I exported years of transactions and started analyzing them. Finance was my profession. Numbers had always told me the truth when people refused to. What I found made my stomach turn. Only a small fraction of the money had actually gone toward my father's medical expenses. Even less had gone toward the mortgage. The rest disappeared into cash withdrawals concentrated around one location, a casino. My mother had spent years gambling with money she claimed was keeping the family afloat. Another large portion flowed directly to Chloe. Designer purchases, travel expenses, luxury payments, brand building, influencer projects, an entire lifestyle funded by me. The most painful part was realizing my sister had no idea where the money came from. My mother had convinced everyone that she and my father paid for everything themselves. For 9 years I had been the invisible bank account. That realization changed something inside me. Later that day my phone rang. It was Chloe calling from her cruise ship. Not once did she ask if I was alive. Not once did she ask about the accident. Instead, she complained that her payment card had stopped working. She wanted me to fix it. Listening to her talk about poolside photo shoots while I lay in a hospital bed was almost surreal. For the first time in my life, I truly understood how different our realities had been. She was not malicious. She was simply accustomed to a world where someone else always paid. The following day things got worse. My mother launched a campaign against me. In the family group chat she claimed I had abandoned my struggling parents. She told relatives that my father was sick and I had cruelly cut them off. She described herself as a victim. Several family members immediately sided with her. For years I would have defended myself. This time I did something different. I stayed silent. Instead of arguing, I built a spreadsheet. 9 years of transactions. Every payment, every withdrawal, every lie. The numbers created a story that could not be manipulated. When Ethan arrived home, I showed him everything. Together we organized the evidence into a single clean summary page. One sheet of paper contained 9 years of truth. That same afternoon, I received a message from my grandfather, Walter. He asked if we could talk. 3 hours later he appeared at my hospital room carrying an old folder held together by faded rubber bands. The moment he sat down, I knew something important was about to happen. Walter looked at me quietly before speaking. I know, those 2 words changed everything. He knew about the money. He knew about the gambling. He knew about the lies. Most importantly, he told me my late grandmother had known too. Before she passed away, she became suspicious of my mother's spending. She spent months investigating and working with an attorney. She discovered where my money was going long before I ever did. Then Walter revealed something even bigger. My grandparents had changed their estate plans. Everything was protected inside a trust, and I was the primary beneficiary. Not my mother, not my sister, me. Walter refused to reveal every detail until later, but he promised one thing. When the time came, the truth would be shared publicly. A few days later, my mother invited the entire family to a Sunday dinner. Officially it was to welcome baby Emma. In reality it was an intervention. She wanted an audience. She wanted pressure. She wanted me to restore the money. I agreed to attend, but I had no intention of surrendering. Sunday arrived. I carried my daughter into the house while Walter arrived separately with his folder. The moment we entered, the room fell silent. My mother immediately began performing for the relatives. Tears appeared on command. She described herself as heartbroken. She painted me as selfish and ungrateful. Then she used the sentence again. Your sister never has these emergencies. For years those words would have hurt me. This time they gave me exactly what I needed. I reached into my diaper bag and removed a single sheet of paper. Without emotion, I placed it in the center of the dining table. Every dollar I sent this family for 9 years is on that page. The room became silent. I explained where the money had gone. The medical expenses, the casino withdrawals, the transfers to Chloe, the hidden payments, the lies. Nobody interrupted. Nobody defended my mother. For the first time, facts occupied the room before emotions could. My sister looked stunned. She genuinely had not known. Slowly she realized the life she enjoyed had been funded by me. My mother tried to fight back. She accused me of twisting the truth. She called me dramatic. Then Walter stood up. Without raising his voice, he placed the old folder beside my spreadsheet. Inside were legal documents, trust documents, property records, attorney letters, proof. My grandparents had intentionally structured their estate to prevent my mother from controlling a single dollar. The family home, the land, the investments, everything was protected. Everything would eventually pass through the trust, and the trust named me and my daughter as beneficiaries. My mother's face changed instantly. The performance disappeared. For the first time, everyone saw panic instead of confidence. She threatened lawsuits. Walter calmly informed her that the paperwork was airtight. She demanded support from my father. For one brief moment he looked ready to speak. Then years of fear took over and he lowered his eyes. That was the moment I finally stopped waiting for him to save me. Not every story ends with an apology. Mine did not. My mother never admitted what she had done. She never accepted responsibility. She simply ran out of people willing to believe her. I stood up carefully, still healing from my injuries, and picked up my daughter. Then I removed the hospital wristband I had kept since the accident. I wrapped it around Emma's car seat handle. That little plastic band represented everything. The night I almost died. The night my family chose convenience. The night I finally chose myself. Without another argument, Ethan, Walter, Emma and I walked out. Quietly, the account was closed. In the months that followed, the trust remained intact. My parents were allowed to continue living in the house, but the flow of money stopped forever. My mother could no longer fund casino trips. My sister eventually got a real job and learned how expensive life becomes when you pay your own bills. The family gossip faded because facts are difficult to argue with. As for me, I stopped being the financial parent of grown adults. I focused on raising my daughter. Looking back, I learned something important. People often praise you for being the strong one because strength is convenient for them. As long as you carry the weight, they never have to. The moment you put that weight down, you discover who truly cares about you and who only cared about what you provided. It took a hospital bed, a newborn baby, and for taps on a banking app for me to learn that lesson. But once I did, I never picked the burden up again.